Good day, boys and girls. It's me, Mr. V from Mr. V's World. I have got to share this story with you and I want to get your commentary on it because I'm going to provide mine. It's about a woman who's 25 years old. The story came out today, November 2nd, 2014, and she was arrested several times on drug charges. But the story gets more bizarre because they basically slapped this woman on the wrist more than once. I'm going to read the story to you. You tell me what you think. Is it fair or is it not? A judge gave Celia Savage a break in February when he sentenced her to probation after federal authorities found pipe bombs and guns in her home during a raid. He warned her not to make him look like a fool. Less than 6 months later, Savage, aged 25, was arrested on drug charges, and on Friday she appeared before the U.S. District Judge Richard Story again. He told her he was disappointed, but still sees potential in her, as he sentenced her to 3 years in prison. That's all she got. The reality is I'm actually putting some confidence in you again because if it were given up to me, I'd just lock you up for as long as I can. That's what the judge says, right? The article goes on to say, federal agents raided Savage's North Georgia home in May 2012 and found 2 pipe bombs and a number of guns, as well as drug paraphernalia and what they believed was marijuana, methamphetamine, and numerous pills, according to court documents. She told agents she had smoked pot that day before and had used meth 2 months before. When federal agents asked her what there is to do in that part of North Georgia where she lives, she said, blow things up, according to a sworn statement by a federal agent. At her February hearing, she apologized and told the judge she never meant to hurt anyone. She says, and I quote, "I feel better about myself and I'm a happy person and I would like to continue that. Please don't take me away," she said, sobbing. Of course she was crying. Her lawyer, Jeffrey Erdl, said Savage had a difficult life and suffered from mental illness. She detonated bombs in a remote location as a form of release for her anger and frustration, and she never intended to hurt anyone. I gotta say right now, if that were a guy blowing up bombs, let alone pipe bombs, homemade bombs, which we can assume he made them, you think he would not be in jail? Question mark. Of course he would be in jail. All right, let me read on. The judge told her the decision to give her a second chance was difficult. "This may be the worst decision I've ever made," said the judge, "and you make me look like an absolute fool. But I'm going to give you a chance." He sentenced her to 6 years in probation. Could you believe that? Unbelievable. Anyway, on August 9th, Savage went on to a tattoo parlor and became hostile when she realized the owner of the business was one of the narcotics agents involved in her federal case, according to a report by her parole officer. She left when asked, but came back later intoxicated and demanded service. When she was denied, she intentionally destroyed a glass table, the officers wrote. She also drove her car drunk that night, and police found methamphetamines, once again, and prescription pills marked for sale in her car, the officers wrote. On Friday, Savage cried as she apologized to the judge. Here we go with the crying tactics that some women like to use when they know they are in hot trouble. Anyway, here's what she had to say. This is her quote. "I just wasn't strong enough, and for that, I'm sorry," she said, explaining that her alcoholism and lack of self-control got the best of her. How is that an excuse to drive your car drunk and possibly going to murder somebody? Oops. Wow. "I took so many things, including the chance you gave me, for granted," she said. Story gave her 3 years in prison. Story is the judge, by the way, followed by 3 years supervised release with the first year in a halfway house. He said he hopes that gives her enough time to get her problems under control. So let me get this straight. The judge gave her 3 years in prison, followed by 3 years supervised release in a halfway house. So he gives her, a 6-year sentence, but cuts it in half by saying, oh, no, you just have to only serve 3 years of that. And we all know 3 years in prison, well, most of us probably can figure it out, doesn't mean 3 years in prison. It means more like 18 months or maybe 12 months or 14 months, depending on your gender, of course. The judge went on to say, and this is the end of the article, which I will put a link in the description. Yes, I'm disappointed. I'm very sad, he said, but I refuse to give up hope. Wait a minute. She's been in and out of jail for these 3 different crimes. Okay, she got busted selling, having drugs on her person. She got busted having drugs on her person while she's driving intoxicated. She destroyed someone's property at a tattoo shop, which was actually ironically owned by the same narcotics officer that was at her house for the former arrest. And then she was busted for just drugs, period. Let's just put it like that. I don't know, especially if this were a non-woman and non-white person, that they would be afforded such leniency. I'm not going to make this into a race issue, but I want to keep it more strictly associated with the fact that she's a young female. And this is all she gets, a slap on the wrist. What do you guys think? I want you to check out the article, this news story, and let me know. I'm Mr. V from Mr. V's World. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Subscribe and rate.